Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm here today with Swamini Janani. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
It's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you for driving so far and coming all the way to my office to share with us your story. So I know people would love to hear about it and how you got started. If you would please start sharing.
Shri Guru Pyo Namaha. Who am I? Just like you. I'm a person just like you. I never thought about why I was here. I just am here. I was named for my paternal grandmother. My family is all Sicilian and immigrants. And so I was called Teresa. And I grew up in a very Catholic Italian family. My father, with his hope of freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of finance, and good weather. New York City, Brooklyn is cold in the winter. So we all moved to Los Angeles, where I grew up. So I was raised in Catholic school. I was a leader in all my classes. Why? It was just my nature. But I'm just like you. I had a lot of questions. I wanted to meet different people, different cultures. My first girlfriend was Japanese in high school. And then later on, I had this goal to become a school teacher. So I satisfied that goal. I was married, teaching school. I had 3 children, 3 beautiful boys who are big boys now with their own families. And I went back to the university to study more and more and more. So I studied for 5 more years. I studied dance, dance history, art history. I'm a little bit of a romantic, but I'm also very grounded. I had a goal, I had a path, and everything I do, I hit the target. Some of my teachers at the university were shocked with what I could do. But I wasn't. It was just me. So as I'm dancing, I had a wonderful master ballet teacher who taught me it's not about this movement, that movement. It's about the feeling. It's about what does your heart feel when you're doing movement. And that brought me to a new dimension, a whole new reality. I still see my dance teacher. Our birthdays are very close. And so my husband decided it was enough school and I should go to work. So I did. I went to work and I was a realtor in Laguna Beach and all of Orange County, and even assisting people in other states. And I was good at it. I always reached my goal. So I had money desires and I accomplished home desires for my clients. So I thought there's more to life than money. I worked, well, I raised children, that's work also, but I worked for 35 years as a realtor. And then COVID hit. But even before COVID hit, I realized there's something beyond, something very mystical, something my mind doesn't know about. So I started visiting churches, Hindu temples, Jewish temples. I had lots and lots of people that I knew from many cultures. And it was a transition in my life. And so whenever Indian dignitaries, saints would come to California, I would visit. And things happened I couldn't explain. And the more I read, the more I watched saint movies, something clicked in my heart. So somewhere around, I'd say 1988-ish, I sold my beautiful home in Corona del Mar. And I knew from different saints, you should light a candle on your birthday and you should make a request, a prayer. So I did. My prayer was, where am I going to move to? I sold my house. Inside, I already knew where I was moving. But that morning, I had a dream, and the dream pointed a beautiful mountain to me. And on that mountain was a beautiful God man, this man, but he didn't look like that at all. And I only saw him from the back. And he had this magnificent bird on his shoulder. I didn't know any of this. What's this? Hey, God man, who are you? And he pointed to the direction of a home for me. So I made an offer, but the offer didn't go because everybody was making high offers. So I went home a little disillusioned. And now what? So I went to bed again. And I said, God, man, now where? Where should I go? And another dream comes, and he shows me an ocean. Interesting that he shows me an ocean. Oceans are now very important to all of us. He shows me an ocean, but not just calm, with a big mountain in the middle of the ocean. And on the mountain is a seal. And the seal is making these noises. And all these little seals below are like, come on, let us up. And so I called the realtor. I wasn't a realtor yet. I called the realtor. Is there an ocean with a rock with a seal? So 3 houses we looked at. One of them I bought. And this time I offered full price. Nobody else was offering because the house had never been lived in. So I redid the house. But as I redid the house, I had a lot of entities coming to me, entities who were living on this land because this was a very sacred ground for the American Indians. And so the building was all halted for, I don't know, like 10, 12 years before they could build. Anyway, that was the beginning. I had dreams for 17 years, different each time, but always with this beautiful man, but I never saw his face. One day, someone said to me, there's a saint coming, you should go and meet him. I said, fine, I'll do that. And so I did meet him. And as I looked at him in another room, he hadn't even come out of the room yet, I noticed he had the same color feet as the God-man that I used to see. And he had the same color robes also that I used to see in all the dreams. I thought, could it be? And then he showed me his face and he just walked straight to me and he said, hello. He said, are you Hindu? No. Are you Indian? No. He said, you look like my grandma. And I thought, oh God. I said, my grandchildren are little babies. And he laughed. And that was the beginning of this enormous heart explosion. Like, this is the man for 17 years who has visited me, found my home. It was mystical. That's the only word, because the mind is only part of this body. So how could I put this and that together? I couldn't. It was just here, just here. And so I was very silent for the rest of the day. I did take his darshan, where he looks, into your eyes. The eyes, of course, as you know, are the windows of the soul. And so he looks not at pretty eyes, he looks at the soul. Is the soul clean? Is the soul purified? Are there elements in there that need to be cleaned, washed? And what he does in this darshan is he asks the Divine Mother, as you see above me, Durga, Kali, Lakshmi, he asks, can I take away some of those dark spots from her soul? And he does. And you feel beyond any feeling. It's not here, it's here. And your body is very calm. And yet you can't move. You are simple consciousness. You are that. What is that? You are this love that your soul is. And so that was the beginning of the beginning. And that was in 2006. And like I say, I'm just a normal person, like the rest of everybody. And yet, I think a different way. I don't like chit-chat. I like prayer. I like silence. I like to be only with lovers of God. Of course, we live in a society where there's a lot of people. Not everybody is a lover of God. But why? I always say, why is that? And it's because they haven't cleared the clouds of delusion of God. They think, especially here in America, they don't need a God. They feel they can manage on their own. And you can, but in time, which is ongoing and ongoing and ongoing, time is now. Yesterday's time is now. Tomorrow's time is now. What you create now is time. This is a little difficult for people to understand. My kids think I'm a little cuckoo. It has been said that I am cuckoo. I'm not cuckoo. I'm just a normal person living in the now, in consciousness, alive, in a body that needs to be taken care of, but with a heart that is pounding with love. When you take a guru in your life, and whoever thought I would take a guru? Remember, I was a Roman Catholic girl. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, saints, angels, and I've seen all of them in my dreams and visions. Why would I need a guru? Well, let me tell you. This guru that we have, he's a guru of this time, now, for Maya, for energy. He's a guru who says it as it is. If you're going to think about war, you're going to create war. If you're going to think about you have a pain, you're going to have a pain. If you think about no healing, there will be no healing. But if you think differently, that is what you create. And this is how our guru teaches us. Of course, even when I went to Catholic school, lots of catechism study, a lot of Bible reading. We have that too. We have our beautiful Bhagavad Gita. We have our beautiful Bhagavatam that tells the stories of Sri Krishna. There's so much to learn. You need lifetimes and lifetimes to learn everything. But when you have this Satguru, your guru, whomever is your guru, and you vow to him that you and I are one, you take that vow, I now belong to you. He takes care of all your challenges. He makes sure you are so well taken care of. And so this is kind of how I arrived at this point.
Wow, that's amazing. So 2006 is when you first met him, like in real life.
In real life.
But 17 years before that, he was coming to you in dreams.
In dreams.
And they say like our gurus are with us throughout our lifetime. So he'd been with you.
Yes, and he's
say?
told me that. He's been with me in all my lifetimes, with all my gurus. And I had a lot of them.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you decided, you did you became a Swamini, right?
I didn't become a Swamini.
Or
one day, well, before that, in 2008, I became a devotee as soon as I met him. Mm-hmm. And in 2008, Guruji sent Kali, Divine Kali, which is Holy Mother Kali, to my home. A completely awakened Murti, very big, like this. And he consecrated my home in Laguna Beach to be a home temple. Mm-hmm. So every week, people would come, some people would come in the nighttime after I worked, just to sit with her. But once a week, we would do rituals, pujas, venerating her with flowers, incense with light, and then a yagna. Yagna is a fire offering. It's how you offer yourself to the fire, all your negativity, mm-hmm. to the fire, you're good and you're not so good. And then the fire, the yagna, is a union. So the fire gods that are there, the elements, mm-hmm. the fire, the air, the water, the ghee, everything, all the elements, they offer back to you. Mm-hmm. So it is not just a one-way offering. It's a two-way offering. You offer and then the gods take care of you, mm-hmm. also. So it's very important always to bring some offering to the fire, mm-hmm. whether it's your own flowers or your own fruits cut up, whether it's money that you offer to the host, whatever. We remember that every offering to God that we offer, we do not want anything in return, but God loves us so much, the Lord does, that he takes care of us as his offering. to us. So that's a union. Yoga is union.
Yes.
Yagna is that also. It's an offering, a union.
Yes. Wow. So a Kali temple at your home.
Kali
I love
temple.
Kali Ma.
Yeah, she's now in Elmira,
Oh,
New York.
yeah.
She's happy there.
Oh.
She has lots of people visiting her, changing her clothes. However, when I go, she goes a little bonkers because the two of us talk, and she is alive. And for all of you people out there who think I'm crazy, she rolls her eyes around and around to let me know how happy she is that we're back together again. So she lived 12 years in my home.
Oh.
And then she moved around a little. She creates havoc wherever she goes. Kali is like that. Kali is the mother that's fierce with all of the skulls all around her body because the skull represents the ego.
Mhm.
So she's there to say, get rid of that ego. So it's not I'm doing the action, it's the body is offering the action, but the action is being offered for God, through God.
Mhm.
And it's not I who does anything. In all of my life, when I go to the market and all, just like you do, I go to the market and everything I take off the shelf is an offering from God. So, yes, I take my hand and pull down whatever it is I need and put it in the basket. But at the end of the day, it's an offering because everything I do with the food, I create for God to offer to God.
I would love to have you share that with us, like about your cooking, because you cook for people, and I know that's an off topic, but God loves it when his devotees and her devotees feed humans. So could you share about that and your cooking, how you bring your spirituality?
So part of my life, like you have, the children were young, and I had 3 children in 4.5 years. So it's pretty fast. And so I had some help at home because I needed help. My husband traveled a great deal. And so I took cooking classes. I had nothing else to do, right? Except take care of all these babies. So I took these cooking classes. And because I had a teacher degree, I was able to assist. So I was like the sous chef, assist the teacher. And she was a cordon bleu teacher, which is French cooking. But she taught all different kinds of food. And it was for adult education in Santa Monica. And so couple times she wasn't there, and so I had to do the class. And she said, "Just cook anything you want." So I did, and I had from the time I was 21 years old, I did not know how to cook at all. I even asked my mom when I got married, "How do you make green beans, Mom?" And she laughed at me. "How do I make green beans?" Because they're fresh green beans. I didn't know how to make them anyhow. So I just would get magazines like Good Housekeeping thing, look at all the pictures. And just from the picture, I could create a meal. Then later, I started reading cookbooks. I just would at night read cookbooks. And so just from pictures and cookbooks and sauces and things were the hardest for me. I created foods, and I still create foods, but now, the last couple of years ago, when I was in Germany at our original ashram where I was initiated as a Swamini, they had a little tiny statue of a kitchen mother, and her name is called Annapurna, and she has a spoon, a ladle, and so she's the queen of the kitchen. And so she sits on top ledge of my stove. And I always say to her, "Okay, so what are we going to cook for Guruji today?" And since she's been in my house for 2 years, I cook so much more now. Yeah, I like so much to cook. It is my offering. because I'm talking to Gurji the whole time. Do you like this taste? What taste do you want? How do you want me to cook this? And in between, when I'm cooking, he'll change the whole thing. And then I switch from this to that. And it's interesting. So I've learned how to cook vegan. Learned how to cook vegetarian. I've noticed the difference in this physical body between vegan and vegetarian, and I listen carefully to what my body tells me. And something I ate a little bit before while we were waiting triggered some mucus here, but now I think maybe it's gone. Who knows? So yeah, I like to cook. I didn't bring you anything. I was thinking of bringing you some cookies, but I painted
I love
that.
the art that you brought
Yeah,
us.
I
Is it okay if I
painted.
show that?
Yeah,
Is that-
you can
So look
show
at this
that.
beautiful flower that she painted.
Yeah.
She's also a poet
A poet and an artist.
and an
Yeah.
artist.
I do a lot of things. The kids are big now. They don't need me anymore. And when you take Swaminihood, it's called sannyas. It means that you have let go of your ego. You've let go of your family. You've let go of your home, your money, your everything. But everything comes. I had this as a gift. This was a gift from my guru. This I bought. But these are, gifts from my guru. A lot of everything is gifts. Well, I did buy a few things, but I have Guru's feet here. That is not a gift. I had that made, but his picture is on the back. I also have another gift. This was a gift. This is the name of my guru that came very early in my years before I was Swamini. Where's this other one I have? This is Kali. There's a picture here of Kali. I studied with Ramakrishna for 14 years, so I have Kali, and on the back is a Divine Mother, Sharda Devi, and Vivekananda Ramakrishna. So a lot of these things are gifts. You do get gifts. My phone, even my kids bought me a phone this year. It was well overdue. So there's a lot of gifts that you get. It's a different way of living. I'm very, very, very independent, but I'm starting to realize I like having a driver every now and then. And it takes a little bit of the tension from driving. And yeah, what else?
I love that. Well, I would love to hear you share with us a little bit about you said like in terms of like and we think about war, it's gonna happen if we don't, right? And kind of like what's happening with the world right now, right? Like we can say there is a lot of talks of that. So based on your experience and your experience with your guru, what would you like to like share with the audience about how to think about what's happening right now?
I hear from a lot of people who call me. That's part of my seva, part of my service to mankind. People who call me, whether they are lovers of God or just people, just people, ordinary people, consciousness, right? They tell me I'm sick. There's so much negativity. I feel so tired. And I'm like, well, what causes this? I have them tell me, what causes this? Well, I'm looking at the news so much. There's so much war and devastation, and people are being evacuated and killed and so on. And I said, uh-huh, yes, it is true. So what are you going to do about it? And they go, I don't know what I'm going to do about it. And I said, how do you think about it? How do you think with your mind, with your ego? How do you think about it? Oh, I think it's horrible. And young children are dying. And I said, how do you feel about it with your heart? And they stop and they go, with my heart? And I said, what can your heart do to make them feel better? And they go, I don't know. And so I tell them what our Sadhguru does. Once a month, on the 30th of each month, we all get together on Zoom. Thank God for the internet. We get together on Zoom and we pray for the world. We don't only pray for the war, we pray for the dictators, the presidents, the mayors, the churches, the synagogues, the temples. We pray for leaders of mankind. We pray for families. We pray for those who have lost their homes. We send loving prayers from our heart of retribution for forgiveness of people that are in pain. This is what we do. But I said, we also, every day, we have what is called a mala. A mala is a string of beads, and every bead has the string running through. So you can count on your beads as you go down. The string represents God or Guru, and this is the flower or the prayer that you say for all those people who are in pain, whatever pain, body pain, mental pain, anguish, dead people. You pray for grace of God to descend upon them. If you do that and you offer this mala once a day, that's 365 days a year, and on the mala are 108 beads. Think of all those prayers that go into the cosmos, into consciousness. Mother Nature hears. Divine Mother is Maya. Maya is where we live on this planet. She is in charge. She hears those prayers and she sends those prayers where they need to go. Try it and see how you feel after you've prayed for a loved one. Let's say your papa is not well. I have a dear friend. His goddaughter had a horrible stroke. A young woman, talented, beautiful, a model. And she woke up after 1 month in a coma. She didn't know what happened. She couldn't move. And her godfather was there. And he said, squeeze my hand or just touch it with your finger. Let me know if you hear what I'm saying. And he told her what happened. And she touched or she squeezed. So she knew. Now it's almost 2 years later and doctors have given up. So her godfather goes once a year or twice a year to help her with her rehabilitation. That is service. But his service is, he has all his brother monks praying. And I include her also. I don't know her, but I know her godfather. And so I offer the mala also for people who are ill like that and troubled. And that's our answer to the suffering. Mm-hmm. What you think is what you reap out there, and it comes back worse than when you put it out. So be conscious and let go of the mind, because the mind is just part of this bag of bones and muscles that we have. It's the heart that is forever.
So for people, like what they feel worried about, they should pray for it, you're saying. Like the moment they see something on the news, they kind of instantly start to pray for them and send the good.
And see them in a beautiful light. If you don't know a prayer, just see them with a halo of light, like you see a halo of light over there on that couple. And you can see the heart that connects the two of them. That reminds me when our guru was 5 years old. He was a naughty little boy, kind of like some of my boys. And he started eating berries off a tree. I remember I used to eat flowers off of a tree too. And he got a terrible, terrible stomach ache and then started foaming at the mouth. So they had to pump his stomach and get him well again. And so he looked out the window. I guess he was better by then. He looked out the window and he saw this beautiful man handing out candies. And you have a picture of the beautiful man, Babaji. Yes. So Babaji, you know, he's ancient, but he's young. He's always young, forever present. Babaji, 5,000-year-old Babaji in this beautiful form, handing out sweets to all the children playing outside the hospital. And my Guruji goes, nothing goes past him. Who are you? He said, I came to see you. Me? Yeah, I came to see you. He said, what do you see when you look at me? He said, I don't know. And he said, look properly. What do you see behind me? So he looked properly. He's 5. And he said, I see light around your head. He said, yes, that is what you are. You are that light. So that means our soul, this eternal presence that sits right here within the area of our heart, it gives us life. So when we come into this form in Mama's belly, the light comes, the soul comes and grows inside. And then when you are delivered, you go, oh no, not again. At least I did, you know. And then for the first 4 years, 5 years, you see light. You see the angel, you see all of these beings. But then society and family and school brings the ego in. And now you see numbers and words and play, and that's my toy, you can't touch it. All of that happens. And you forget about that beautiful light that's all around you.
Yeah, you're right. Children do see those beings, right? Like when
They
they're
do.
little,
They
they see
do.
the angels and
They do.
everything.
And one of my sons, when he was young, maybe 7, he used to have these dreams at night, and he would be sleepwalking up and back and forth in the hall, and I'd hear him walking and he'd be talking, the man with the truck, the man with the truck, the man with the truck. So one day, years later, I said, it's okay, the man with the truck, he's gone. And he'd go back to sleep. And one day, a monk was giving a lecture, and it was about past life remembrances. And he says, usually when the children are young, they will have these dreams. And he said, in his past life, there was a man with a truck who either hit him or kidnapped him. And so this is what he is remembering. And, you know, I didn't tell my son that recently, because he say, oh yeah, Mom, you know, loony. But certain things you speak and certain things you don't. And you know just the right ones to share. Not just everyone can handle this at all.
Yes, you're right. Some people that are open, like you can share with them about past lives, and they go, yeah, that makes sense. I've always been afraid of trucks, you know. And some people don't think, but past lives has already been proven by doctors and all kinds of researchers.
That's
that there
true.
is, that it's
Science,
real. Science can prove
yes.
it now.
Science is catching up with metaphysics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. And I believe that because I feel, but I also believe that because of the state of our world, more people are turning interior, not so much outside. And COVID also, where we were locked in. And people had new babies, people got divorces. It's either yay or nay. But it's a time for introspection. Every night is your opportunity. Every morning when you wake up, when you just are coming out of either a dream or a sleep, your first memory should be, thank you, I'm here. And then you say a prayer, whatever you want to say. My prayer will be different from his prayer, from your prayer. And you're grateful. Another day to offer to anyone I see, whatever. I mean, I go to the market a lot. And sometimes, you can't reach the shelf, or somebody will come up and say, have you seen the cottage cheese or something? Like, yes, yes, yes. And, here, all these varieties. I've tried this one. I like this one the best. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Or sometimes you'll be stretching to get the milk. And then one of the workers will come and say, oh, let me get it for you. I mean, and they say, God bless you to me. And it's very beautiful when people say, have a blessed day. Not many people say that. Mm-hmm. And you wonder why they say it to me. They're not saying it to the person next to me, because I look and they're oblivious to everything that's going on. But it is a wonderful habit to get into, to remember the day's activities. What was I proud of today? What did I do that made me feel like I was giving? What did I do? What thought did I have about someone, a dog, a cat, whatever? Why did I have that thought? So you go inside and you kind of like scrape at it and try to, clean it away, like you do when you cook on a pan, and sometimes you burn some of the food at the bottom. And you have to clean that. It's purifying again, but it's a beautiful habit. Habits are important. And every habit should get more elevated and more elevated and more elevated. And by that, I mean more God-centric. So instead of egocentric, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. No, when I have that thought, I will give that thought to God, and God will purify that.
I love that. Yeah, because sometimes it's hard to get rid of parts of our ego, right? It's been with us a long time. But if we offer it to God, suddenly that part of us is dissolved. It's like a miracle. So I love that. I love that. Would you like to share one of your poems now, or would you?
Oh, okay. So these have to come in now, so I can find a poem.
And would you like some tea before you?
No, I think I'll be okay. I have to find it in my trusty phone. Okay, so I have to tell you a story before. Everything's a story with me. Yes, I will have some tea. Thanks. One day I had one grandson. Now I have 3 grandsons. So I think he was still in a stroller, so he must have been a year old or something like that. And we came to San Diego. We went to the San Diego Zoo. And I had another phone. It wasn't this kind of a phone. Maybe it was just a camera. And I like to photograph. You don't know that about me. And so we were walking around and I saw the most magnificent swan. And I took a photo of the swan as it started to fly. And this is how the story starts in a minute. So let's see. And you don't have the picture, but oh, shoot, it just went away. Here it is. This is the photograph. I don't know if you can see it. It's over here. Oops. Oh, that's another. This is the photograph. It's a swan taking off in flight. And so, okay. So this is how the poem goes. From a dreaming state of consciousness, because we dream about events that we have experienced during the day. And we also deep sleep. And when we come out of a deep sleep, sometimes there is a message. So the poem goes like this. From a dreaming state of consciousness, my heart spoke words to my mind. And this is what I heard. A bhakta is a walking, talking, dreaming lover of God. So I call this poem The Dance of Love. In the heart of everyone lives a bhakta, a devoted lover of God, whether sleeping, dreaming, or walking, or waking. A divine thought occurs. Might they know this? Do they, or do you? The divine thought of another is music in one's heart. His song repeats infinitely as a divine engagement starts. The mind succumbs to the heart as the bhakta feels the heat. A fire erupts, sparks fly, the pulsating heart, like a forest fire, is swallowing all the trees. An engaged bhakta sighs to a joyful heart's beat as love only grows stronger with each other's warm greeting. Speaking his virtues, chanting his name, heart thoughts are treasures, all times, night and day. Bhaktas dancing to the music of a passing merry-go-round, grabbing for that ring at each revolution of the round. Such music of the dance is unique, soothing like a waltz, wild like the beat of a drum, an intense tango, passionate and complete. Their kind of love is a union, a love dance, their play with each other, like the love dream of yesterday. Alas, it is fantastic for today. The heart song of a bhakta is just love, the dance of life, just loving to love a soul's journey of yesterday's time passed by. Alas, another chance to find that ring in the merry-go-round of life, singing the music of a longing love and dancing to the song of the waiting dove. And it is only through my Satguru's grace that I'm able to think, speak, write these words, because I am his Swamini Janani. And the inspiration for this poem came from Nrsingadev. Nrsingadev is the deity of our Elmira, New York ashram. And he was only alive for 7 hours. And he came to rip the innards of the demon father who tried to kill his beautiful demon son many ways. and he was there to protect his devotee. And so we have that protection when we take a Satguru. So why would you not want to take a Satguru? Did you like that poem?
So beautiful. And I love how it ended with the image of the dove.
Yeah, this
That's
is
so beautiful.
a big swan dove.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I used to hear the doves calling all the time. Did you want me to read that other, or do we not have time?
No, I would love that. Yeah, I love that other one as well.
Okay, I have to go find it.
No worries, take your time. It's a beautiful poem. I think people would love to hear it.
Okay, so everybody knows about Lakshmi. Everybody, I think. Even my Jewish husband, he goes, yeah, I'll take her picture. Because they see all the coins dropping, right? It's cute. But Lakshmi is more than money. And your dear friend, Dennis, gave me a beautiful, beautiful Sri Yantra of an Ashta Lakshmi. Ashta means 8. So the deities, they have egos, kind of sort of qualities, right? Good qualities. And Ashta means these are the 8 different qualities of Lakshmi. So she has quite a few. Let me read it. First, I'll show you the picture. I didn't bring this, but this is the picture. You can see it's pretty. I don't know if you can open it up or
yeah, they can probably zoom in on the video.
Yeah, so an Ashta Lakshmi Sri Yantra is divinity in form, alive with consciousness, a manifestation of your eternal life form. A union of energies, masculine and feminine as one, lifted and caressed by the lotus petals of her divine love. An abundance of Lakshmi, we think it as wealth, money, a consciousness, an eternal gift of life, realizing Supreme Mother Goddess, your inner awakening to her divine heart of love. Adi Lakshmi. So now I'm going to tell you about these different qualities. Adi Lakshmi has no beginning, no end. Danya Lakshmi, she is nourishment, feeding all her creation. Santana Lakshmi, she's fertility, health, intelligence. Vijaya Lakshmi, victory, protection. Dana Lakshmi, she's material wealth. There comes your money and your gold. Gaja Lakshmi, she stands between 2 elephants showering her. Veera Lakshmi, she is definitely courage and strength. Vidya Lakshmi, and most important, she is knowledge, and she holds 2 lotuses. The goddess with 2 lotuses, spiritual growth and rebirth, purity, enlightenment, and resilience, beauty despite the muddy origins. She beckons one to be. She sees only goodness and light, and like the Gaja elephant, her waters wash away the clouds of ignorance. Ashta Lakshmi is beyond all words, all sounds. She's a mother, a goddess, a mystical form. Many come, hands prayerful, many bow. Her awareness fills a conscious being. Meditate, fly deep into her form. Keep the flame forevermore. The realization is at your door. This goddess union is the Sri Ashta Lakshmi, your true form. And this inspiration was given by a lover of Lakshmi, your friend Dennis. And so I honor him with this poem. Beautiful. And it is only through the grace of my Sadguru that I can even think these things, because sometimes I don't even remember what I wrote. That's why I have to read all the time.
They're so beautiful. I remember the first time I heard your poem when we had the Om Circle at Dennis's temple, and I was just like, wow, like I instantly felt the my mother's presence come in. Just like right now when you were reading Lakshmi, I was feeling all of her consciousnesses fill the room. So it's so beautiful.
Well, this is Lakshmi being able to share the information, the wisdom, the truth of why we take human birth. Many people only believe one time you take a birth, and that's good. But how long do you have to stay in one place? At least in our tradition, if we have learned what we need to learn, we go to different spaces, heavens, as you might call them, different spheres to learn more. And then when it's time to come back, because not all the lessons are learned, you realize, okay, I need to be born in this kind of a family, this kind of a mother, so I can do this kind of offering to clear the negative impurities. And you come back. So we get a second chance. But if we have completed what we need to complete, then if the Satguru decides to come again, he'll say, want to come? And of course, we will come. But we'll come in a different way, in a different way. So there are many beings that are alive who have no more karma, and they come to assist. There are many beings, I have been in their presence, and they are very, very, very divine. And so,
yes, because the more like advanced you get, the more you care, right? So it's almost like they don't have karma, but they care about humanity. They want to come help.
It is service, and it is selfless service, but it all comes from heart-centered love, because the soul is just that, just love. It's that simple. We are just love. We have to come into a human form. We have to get rid of all. We're living in this world of illusion, delusion, not a world, it is a world. We live in consciousness, in a body, with pain in our body. And we have to immediately extract from all of that what it is we want to accomplish. And if we want to accomplish a person that is a lover of God, who just needs a little boost, because is it really for real? I mean, is that really true? They need the experience to tell them. The experience is the feeling. You have to go there. You can say to a mother, okay, you're going to have a baby inside. It's going to grow inside. You don't know what it's going to be like. The baby's in there kicking, pushing you around. And then there's this birth. The mother is screaming, the baby is screaming. And then all of a sudden, you forget everything. There's this beautiful baby to hold. So who can tell you about a childbirth other than someone who has experienced? And do you remember being in mommy's belly? Some of us do. And we can share, but only with certain people, because I don't want to be locked up.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like they say, don't put pearls before swine. Like these spiritual experiences are so sacred that
that's right.
Some people don't understand them. It almost like diminishes the experience. But if other lovers of God, like you're saying, then they're like, yeah, I get that. Like I've had that.
Or they'll say, really? And like a little light bulb will go off.
Yes.
Many people like to chit chat. They go to a temple and they're standing in front of, a beautiful divine lover of God, a messenger of God. And they're talking about, these shoes aren't fitting too good, or they're pointing their feet, at the chair. And so me as orange that I am, I've had a lot of experience, a lot of years in this bag of bones and muscles. And you say quietly to them, this is chit chat. Can you take your chit chat to the back of the room or outside? And then they fight you on it. But it is not meant to be a violation. It's meant to be an awareness. And, if they're not there, they're not there. But someone has to tell them. I mean, our Sadhguru is sweetness, he's light. But when he sees something he doesn't like, he'll tell you. One time I was sitting in the ashram in Germany, and there was a mass going on. We have a small little Orthodox temple there. And apparently the epistles were being read, all the sacred books were being read. And I was just sitting there, and he comes up to me and he goes, wham, he hits me in the back. And I said, oh, Jai Gurudev. He said, you good Catholic, get up and stand for this sacred reading. Yes, Jai Gurudev. So, and that he did in front of 50 people. And, so I wasn't embarrassed. I just, Jai Gurudev, I stood up. That's it. And you know that it is for your higher good that they give you these whams on the back or on the head or anywhere.
Sometimes people are stuck in something and they need to have like a
insight. Yeah, I was sitting there and I was meditating, and I didn't even hear him coming. I just felt the whack on my back, first on the top of my head, then on my back. Check it out. Yeah, it's cute. When I was first a Swamini, you're like, God, how did this happen? And I'm up there by his chair, and as he's walking by, everybody bows to him, and I'm bowing to him, and he hits me, and he goes, are you trying to trip me or something? I'm like, you have to be aware where you bow, not in his direction. So, there's a lot to learn. There's always learning. And I am so grateful that I came into a beautiful family that gave me a Catholic upbringing, that allowed me to study all my life, still studying, and teach. I thought, oh no, I'm not just a teacher, how boring. But no, I'm a lot more than teach. Through everything I do is teaching, from playing with my beautiful plants, from offering foods I cook to my deities, from painting, which is such a slow meditation, waking and looking at it when you're done and you're like, look who's in there. And, from writing a piece or even writing, it's all a service to God, because you can't do anything without the soul inside of you that is just love. You really can do. You wouldn't be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have to be very grateful who you chose as your family, what they gave you, and how you've learned from them and now are teaching others.
Yes, I like that. It's important, family we choose, like you said, like it's decided based upon our karma. Sometimes we have some family members we're very close to in our soul, right? And some might not be, but how we handle those situations is determining our future karmas too, right?
We're creating karma as we're sitting here. The Sikhs, we do a lot of saint stories, and our Sadhguru likes the early Sikhs because they were all murdered.
Mhm.
They have that big sword, and they have their Sikh book. And of course they have their Sikh gurus from the beginning. But they do the least amount of hurtful energy to an ant, to a mosquito, a fly. They do the least amount. And we learn from that. I mean, just the fact that we breathe in and out, there's molecules that are alive that we kill. And so we offer our breath. Even when you go to sleep at night, you offer even your breath, to the Lord. And any entity that was taken, his life was taken, its life was taken, you offer everything to God. One time I was driving, early years of Laguna Beach, I was like a hippie, and cars were stopped on PCH, like the cars here stop. And everybody was stopped looking. And I'm like, what is it? There was a seagull that had been run over. And I got out of my car, I stopped all the traffic, and I picked up the bird and I took it to the side of the road. Everybody waited for me. I got back in the car and took off. But I just couldn't leave the bird because the cars were going around the bird, not to kill the bird. So I moved it. I never forget that. Not even thinking about my life, thinking about the bird.
Yeah.
And the bird's soul. Maybe the bird's soul left. Maybe the bird's soul hadn't left. It wasn't breathing. But I moved it to the side.
Like all life is sacred, right? And
All life is sacred.
Yeah.
The life of these trees, if God doesn't will the wind, that tree couldn't move. But the trees give freely. You can sit under a tree to have shade. The clouds in the sky, sometimes they show you a story. Look into the sky and see what they have to say.
Yeah.
It's all part of consciousness here, aliveness. Everything is alive, whether it's sentient with a soul or insentient, meaning this engineered floor. So everything is consciousness.
Absolutely.
And just to be grateful for that. God, I hope my kids aren't listening because they're going to go, God, she's not on a channel telling people these crazy things.
No, they would love it. It's been great stories. They better like it.
God, my mother, I'm going to have to lock her up.
No, I mean, metaphysics prove what you're saying, that there's string theory, everything is at the string, everything is made up of tiny strings, and there's like being affected, by our thoughts. So everything you're saying, science can
It's true.
prove it now. So thank you for sharing that. Would you like to share a little bit about Elmira? So if people want to go see Guruji, they have the opportunity to go meet him.
So for the first time in ever, Elmira Guruji, Swami Paramahamsa Vishwananda, he's a little older now. He just had his birthday. He's 47. I can say that because I'm a little older. He will be in Elmira. He will also be in New York. He will go to Canada, 2-3 locations in Canada, and he will also go to Miami. And he will be giving darshans. This is where you look into the eye and gives you this immense blessing. And like he says, you all come as angels, you all have wings. And then he said, you go home and those wings drop and horns come out. But it's a true story. It is true. When you're in his presence, you're holy, and now you're chanting his name and the whole thing, your heart's going blah, 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 because your soul is so excited. You get to meet a live lover of God, maybe God himself. They say these souls come down and they are an incarnation of God. And so this is how in the Hindu tradition we speak And also Jesus Christ. I mean, the same thing. I mean, all, Buddha, look at Buddha. Oh my God. There's so much. Any religion, any tradition, it still has that little stringlet that takes you where you need to be. So yeah, Guruji is going to be beginning August. I think he comes on the 1st of August. He will fly into either New York City or into Elmira proper, come to our ashram. He will be in New York City doing darshan. He will do darshan in Elmira. We have a Janmastami, which is a big celebration for Krishna. We will have that. There's lots of singing and dancing. So all you beautiful people who want to just shake it up a bit, dancing is part of love. And everybody who dances and sings has no more ego. It's tremendously gone when you dance. I've been very fortunate to dance with Guruji on a number of occasions, and there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. And everybody's going, woo, look at you. But it's human nature, you know. So come, you sing, you dance, you eat. There's prasad, there's fabulous meals. Will I be cooking? Most probably a couple of things. Yes, I will be cooking. Guruji has his own home in Elmira. It's by our big ashram. We have a converted Catholic church. It's like a little basilica there. Our Lady of Lourdes from France, yeah, Paris, France, not Paris, but France. Has beautiful stained glass windows, and the artists have come in, our sacred artists have come in, and they have drawn in between all the glass. You can see all of the different avatars of time, from the beginning of time, painted so beautifully. The altar has this 9-foot colossal statue of Nrsingadev. I don't know how many tons it is, a lot of tons. The only way they could get it into the church was with a crane, and they had to put a big hole in the ceiling, and somehow it was engineered with just tiny spaces all around, came down and then set on the altar, pylons going down, for what, 15 feet down. And underneath the altar are books where devotees have written the name of our mantra or the name of God in some form. So all those books are piled, it's what, 15 feet, and they're all piled up. So all those prayers are offered. It's an amazing journey. You've got to come. Elmira is in a beautiful, beautiful wooded area. There's a beautiful river that runs 2-3 blocks away that you could walk, and hopefully you won't get a mosquito bite, but you probably will. Just cover up. Some of the boys take a dip in the river. There's fish underneath. It's just glorious there. But then to be in the presence, we do an Om chanting also after Sunday prayers once a week. That's where we all gather together, and it's a collective energy of just saying the word Om. It's a beautiful practice. I did it for your friend Dennis. Actually, Sridhar came. I came with him that time to do the Om chanting. It was, I think, very well received. It just puts you in another energy. Last weekend, we did a little pilgrimage with 5 or 6 lovers of God, and we were at a Hindu temple in Riverside. I said, outside, let's just do a small Om chanting. We did it for 15 minutes. Everybody was exhausted, and as soon as it was over, we were energized. Again, people came to us, they asked us questions. It's really a beautiful practice. You can also have an intention when you do the Om chanting also. And that all comes from Mahavatar Babaji, who has given us our practices through Guruji. And Guruji said, I will do your practice of Atma Kriya Yoga if I can bring back chanting. So we said, yeah, you can do it. So we do that. We have a temple in Long Beach, a local temple, and Swami Sridhar is our surfing guru. No, not guru. He's our surfing Swami. And he tries once a week to do the chanting. He brings people in for that. And on full moon, it's real important. I always like full moon and new moon. And so I used to do it at a park where there is a beautiful lake. And I'll start resuming that again after in the fall when I come back. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that and inspiring people for Elmira.
So
you guys can go to Bhakti Marga's website. I'm going to put it in the video description. So thank you again for coming all the way here and doing this interview and
It's our
sharing your
pleasure.
story. We really appreciate it, and I'm
Thank
sure
you.
everybody's going to enjoy it. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for tuning in.
Jai Gurudev.